Palpatine sure likes his purges. Thanks to the animated series The Clone Wars and of course the Star Wars prequel films, Order 66, or the Jedi Purge, is a well-known plan orchestrated by the Sith Lords. While the protocol claimed many victims, another purge created by wrinkly Dark Pikachu killed way more. I'm talking about the Great Mandalorian Purge, first mentioned in The Mandalorian. While not a lot has been revealed about it so far, a few pieces of the puzzle can be found here and there, scattered throughout the Star Wars franchise. In today's video, I will explain the Great Purge, what led to it, and its aftermath in The Mandalorian. Get your blasters ready, folks, cause we're jumping right into the action. The Great Mandalorian Purge was first mentioned in The Mandalorians Chapter 1. In the episode, the bounty hunter Din Djarin completed one of his gigs where he had to bring the little gremlin Grogu to a rather shady client. The man, simply credited as the client, was willing to pay a hefty price to get our hands on our national baby Yoda. We love you, Grogu! The remnant of the Galactic Empire had its hands on a load of Beskar, and we all know Mandalorians love their Beskar. The old man was willing to give Din all of it in exchange for the child. The thing is, Beskar steel is quite rare, and makes amazing laser-proof armors. But if it's so scarce and so valuable, how did that Empire metal-wearing villain get his hands on such a big amount? Like most of Palpatine's ex-Empire, the answer lies in carnage. After Din gets his due payment and brings it to the armorer to level up the shiny Din, his fellow tribe member Paz Vizsla was not really happy about what he'd done. The tank-sized Mandalorian didn't care much about the Beskar steel, but more about where it came from. See, the steel plates were cast in an Imperial smelter, and had the Empire's symbol carved onto it. This makes Mando's payment blood money, or, like Paz Vizsla calls them, the spoils of the Great Purge. Before getting into a fight with Din, Paz blames the Great Purge for being the reason they have to hide like sand rats. While the Empire might have fallen after the Death Star went kaboom, some of their bases are still operational, it seems. So no one can really blame the Children of the Watch for keeping a low profile. The Mandalorian Great Purge is mentioned so far throughout 7 chapters of The Mandalorian, making it quite a big deal for something we know so little about. But what exactly happened on planet Mandalore, and why did the Galactic Empire go ballistic on a whole people? Not that they ever really needed a reason. Well, Din firmly believes that the Great Purge was set up by the Galactic Empire since they had trouble taking full control of Mandalore. So they decided to pull the switch on it. He also tells Bo-Katan that anyone who dares set foot on the planet Mandalore will just fall dead instantly. Bo-Katan, with her almighty yet posed sass, tells Din that this is all BS. Those are probably scary stories they tell the Children of the Watch to keep them far away from Mandalore. So Mandalore still might be habitable, but the Great Purge did leave some damage for sure. The massive attack led to the almost total genocide of the Mandalorian people. While the Mandalorians have been scattered for a long time due to a few civil wars, the massacre was the very last straw that made the few Mandalorians left on the planet fly as fast and as far as possible from the Empire's army. Or at least that's what I can puzzle together with the little information we have so far. Now you know that Imperial forces tried their best at making the Mandalorian extinct, but what actually led to their over-dramatic reaction? We all know Darth Sidious lives for the stage and loves theatrics, but there must be at least some reason behind the attack. Let's go full prequel and go back to the end of the Clone Wars to find out. To understand what brought the Galactic Empire to cancel the planet Mandalore, let me take you back to the event called the Siege of Mandalore, also known as the Battle of Mandalore. Taking place during the Mandalorian Civil War, the siege was a massive conflict between two main groups. On the left side of the ring, we had the Galactic Republic, later known as the Old Republic, allying themselves with the Mandalore Resistance. On the other side, we have the Mandalorian Traditionalists, who were loyal to the Shadow Collective. Let me break it up for you. Team A included a bunch of Jedis from the Jedi Order like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, and formerly Anakin Skywalker. While the other half of the team, the Mandalorian Resistance, was made out of clans like the Wren and Bo-Katan's Nite Owls. Team B was made of a group of super Mandalorian commandos working with the now ruler of Mandalore, the visually unpleasant Darth Maul. He's so pointy. The Shadow Collective, also known as the Syndicate, was led by Ugly Face Maul and Pre Vizsla. The Shadow Collective was also very ambitious, as one of their goals was not only to overthrow the Old Republic, but also the Confederacy of Independent Systems, or the Separatist Alliance, which were anyways led by the same evil dude at the time. Needless to say, they failed. Come to think of it, pretty much everyone failed in the end. After a lot of pew-pews and epic lightsaber fights between Ahsoka Tano and Darth Maul, the red-faced Sith finally fell and was captured by the Mandalorian resistance. Does that sound like a victory for our heroes? Well, yes, but also no. What started out as a celebration ended up in a massacre. Kryze ended up being appointed as the Regent of Mandalore, and everything seemed like it would be smooth sailing from there. Well, it wasn't. Order 66, or the Great Jedi Purge, was activated as Ahsoka flew out of Mandalore, bringing the prisoner Darth Maul with her and a few clones. Needless to say, things didn't go as planned, as she had to fight some of them, and Maul noped out of there as quickly as he could. While a few things happened after, with Ahsoka and Maul out there in the galaxy, let's land back to Mandalore and see how Bo-Katan is dealing with her new ruling position. Not very well. Did I forget to mention the Republic left some clone troopers on Mandalore during Order 66? Well, there you have it. The Empire struck back and took over control of the planet. At first they wanted Bo-Katan to maintain her position as regent, but as rebellious as she is, she refused to work for the enemy. Gar Saxon, who was one of Maul's super commandos, took over as Imperial Viceroy of Mandalore. Under the Imperial rule, everything in Mandalore culture changed. Now I could go on and on about Mandalorian life under Imperial rule, but let me zoom into the Imperial Academy of Mandalore, which used to be named the Royal Academy of Government. The school, located in Mandalore's capital city of Sundari, had one particular interesting student, Sabine Wren. Before Sabine became a rebel and joined Bo-Katan and friends in the Mandalorian resistance, she was a cadet in the Imperial Army, and quite a promising student at that. Let's go back to school for a bit here and take a look at one of her finest achievements, one that might have actually triggered the end of most Mandalorians: the Arc Pulse Generator. The Arc Pulse Generator, affectionately nicknamed the Duchess, was a circular-shaped superweapon with incredible powers. The OP yo-yo-shaped weapon had the ability to give out electric bolts, which targeted the Beskar alloy used in Mandalorian armors. As we know, Beskar is one tough material, even capable of blocking a Jedi's lightsaber, as we have seen when Ahsoka dueled with Din. The Duchess didn't destroy Beskar steel, however, it only affects warriors wearing it, by disintegrating them to a crisp, leaving the armor intact. This has two main purposes. First, this does not target the Imperial stormtroopers, as their armors are made out of that dollar store grade plastoid. Second, the Beskar armors fall to the ground, and they're ready for the taking. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, the Empire stocked up on a load of Beskar, and that was one vicious way they did it. Now Sabine was horrified when she learned they used the weapon on her own people. But what was she expecting? The weapon was created to kill people wearing Beskar armors. And who wears Beskar armors? Well, her people, duh. Anyways, we all did some crazy things in our youth, am I right? I mean, I'm pretty sure none of you created a super weapon capable of annihilating a whole race of people, but we'll forgive her, I guess. To be fair, she did destroy the weapon, but the Empire rebuilt another one, which she eventually ended up destroying again with the legendary Darksaber, now owned by her family, Clan Wren. After more violence and 1,000 missed shots by stormtroopers, the rebels were once again victorious. This brings us, my dear Padawans, to Bo-Katan's coronation as true leader of Mandalore, as she was gifted the Darksaber by Sabine. And they lived happily ever after. Not. The girl just won't catch a break, won't she? The Empire refused to back down and came crashing the party. Literally by crushing everyone. While no one has seen the Great Mandalorian Purge on screen yet, we know for a fact that Moff Gideon had an important role in the event, as he now owns the Darksaber. The fact that Bo-Katan has this information and is hell-bent on kicking his ass makes me think that both exchanged fire during the Great Purge. Whatever happened on Mandalore and what is actually going on as we speak is yet to be revealed. But with the Nite Owls on the prowl for Moff Gideon, and Boba Fett with Fennec Shand joining Din Djarin to go save Grogu, something's about to go down. And I don't mean they'll all get along and burst into song, no. See, one character that was now only a part of Star Wars Legends has entered the canon, and I'm talking about the one and only Jaster Muriel. The who now? Let me explain. Muriel, who went on to become the ruler of Mandalore, adopted a young Jango Fett. Jango, who was eventually cloned into countless stormtroopers, but also succeeded his father as Manda'lor, wanted to keep one for himself, and that is how Boba Fett was born. All this information can be seen in the code chain Boba showed Din, which in Mando's eyes made Boba's claim as a Mandalorian legit. This would make Boba Fett worthy of taking the Mandalore title, as his father did years before. This is where we have a problem. I'm pretty sure the trio will end up meeting up again with the Nite Owls. And as we know, Bo-Katan wants the Mandalore title for herself. This could cause some friction between the Mandalorians, and I have a feeling Moff Gideon, as evil as he is, will probably find a way to turn this to his advantage. Well, that's a lot of Mandalorians in one place. How do you think the Mando squad will do? Will they get along or end up blasting each other for the throne? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and may the Force be with you. We love you, Grogu!